The verdict is in. A judge sentenced a man involved in last year's shooting outside Vibez Lounge in Columbia.
Rain moving through central Missouri, and some of this rain could be heavy tonight. I'm tracking that in my first alert forecast.
Easing inflation at the pump, what has caused gas prices to drop over the past week. This is KOMU8 News at 6.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU8 News starts now.
Boone County Judge Kevin Crane sentenced a Columbia man today to 4 years in prison in connection with a downtown shooting last November. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Todd Nesbitt Jr. was charged and sentenced for his resisting arrest charges. It was the shooting that left 5 injured outside Vibez Lounge on 5th Street. The other shooter there was killed at the scene by police. Prosecutors say they couldn't file more charges against Nesbitt because they couldn't get a witness to testify. And did you see this today? Finally, rain and some cooler temperatures came with it. Such a relief from the heat. KOMU8 meteorologist Matt Beckwith joins us now in the studio. And Matt, you've been tracking this cool down for about a week. Any more chances for rain?
Yeah, Emily, I think we have rain chances to go with us pretty much all week long. This frontal boundary stalled out to our south, passing showers moving through right now. A lot of cloud cover with us as well. Starting to see some rain getting a little bit closer to Jefferson City. Expecting you to start seeing a little bit more of this rain here shortly. Paris, Moberly, south of Macon to Brunswick, Higbee as well, picking up on some decent showers as well. We're going to continue to see these rain showers through the night. Temperatures significantly cooler that have been seeing the rain. So it's 70 in Moberly, 71 in Mexico, and 74 in Columbia. Meanwhile, it's 85 down at the Lake of the Ozarks. Going through the next several hours, we'll see very isolated passing activity, but overnight, the rain picks up and it could be heavy at times for areas along and north of I-70. So while there likely won't be any issues, we do want you to pay attention because I do think some localized flooding and flood-prone areas is possible, mainly for areas along and north of Highway 24. I'm going to track this rain through the night and talk about our other rain opportunities coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Gas prices continue to drop. AAA says nationally, the average cost of regular gas is down to about $4.36. That's down 16 cents from a week ago and down 55 cents from a month ago. KOMU8's Colby Zach is in the newsroom with more. Colby?
Emily, drivers are paying less at the pump for a few reasons. The chair of business and financial journalism at MU says one reason is because high commodity prices spurred production, which in turn increased supply and lowered the price. Marty Steffens says that although the prices are dropping, the decline in price has not been nearly as fast as the increase was before it. She says this is due to a phenomenon called the rocket and feather effect.
So basically, the whole theory behind rocket feather is prices rise really quickly when the base or the commodity price of oil rises, but then, when they start to come back down, the gas stations are trying to maximize their profits. So, they don't come down very quickly.
Steffens also says that with the summer winding down, there will be fewer drivers on the road and a big reason that prices could drop even lower. In the newsroom, Colby Zach, KOMU8 News.
Well, some adventure is coming to Columbia. The Columbia Convention and Visitors Advisory Board met today. It heard a presentation from the Boy Scouts of America Great Rivers Councils about funding for a scouting adventure center. KOMU8's Steffi Roche was there. And Steffi, what'd you learn at this meeting today?
Well, this is how the Scouting Center looks now, but they're trying to make things a bit more fun. The Scouts are applying for funding from the city as they prepare for the launch of their Scouting Adventure Center. But the goal for the Scouts is to show the Visitors Bureau how the Scouting Adventure Center will help the city's economy and tourism.
I can't expand on that anymore.
Questions?
It's possible, but I think...
And answers about how the Scouting Adventure Center will help city tourism and the economy.
Ideally, anything that attracts people to the city of Columbia and brings them here for shopping in our shopping centers or eating downtown or in the city of Columbia or just staying in hotel nights is going to impact our tourism here in Columbia.
What we're really excited about is the number of scouts and Scout volunteers who will travel across our state and from other states to come here to experience the Scouting Adventure Center.
In May, the Boy Scouts of America Great Rivers Council moved into the new space just off I-70 near the Midway exit. The building was formerly the Call and Contact Center for Midway USA and was donated by the owners to build the Adventure Center.
Its purpose is a focus on fun and learning. So we're going to have modular areas, or arenas is what we're calling them.
Those arenas include health and safety arenas, design arenas, science and nature labs, and engineering and programming arenas. There will also be a rock climbing wall, anticipated to be finished in December. The application that the Bureau received shows that the Great Rivers Council is seeking $25,000 from the Bureau's Attraction Development Fund.
Based on the application that I've seen so far, I do believe that this could potentially be a positive driver for the economy and tourism in Columbia.
And the whole facility is expected to be completed by May 2023. In the studio, Steffi Roche, KMU8 News.
We are just over a week away from the August primary election, and there are a number of choices on the ballot, especially right here in Columbia. If you're wondering how to get your vote in, there's a few deadlines to keep your eye on. The election day is on Tuesday of next week. If you need an absentee ballot, you can only request one with reasons such as being out of town on election day. The deadline to request an absentee ballot by mail was last Wednesday, the 20th, but you can still request an absentee ballot in person until next Monday, August 1st. All absentee ballots are due on election day by 7 p.m. More on voting rules in the state. Primary elections in Missouri are open, which means a voter does not have to register with a party to vote, but a voter can only vote in one party's primary. You can go to your county clerk's website to find your polling place. We'll be following elections on August 2nd across the state and bringing you team coverage both on air and online at KOMU.com. Coming up, changes are coming to MU's flagship recreational facility for students. Plus, more trouble for the airline industry, why a group of St. Louis Boeing employees are going on strike.
Temperatures significantly colder than this time yesterday by about 15 degrees. Our high only reached 78, our first below average day since early this month, since July 2nd. We'll talk about more warm air coming our way, coming up.
Here's what's happening right now. Mike Pence's former chief of staff, Mark Short, testified before a federal grand jury about the January 6th Capitol attack. Short was reportedly with Pence while the vice president hid from rioters. Short appeared before the grand jury under subpoena. And news from around the state, nearly 2,500 employees from Boeing's 3 St. Louis area locations announced plans to strike. That's according to a labor union. The union cites Boeing's decision to, quote, not adequately compensate its members' 401k plans as the reason behind the strike. The workers are now seeking a, quote, fair and equitable contract in order to avoid a strike. The plant chairman of the union says this is the only way to help their members amid financial struggles.
We're trying to get something that would help counteract that inflation cost to our members, so we stop losing our take-home pay every week, so we can invest in retirements.
Boeing says it's disappointed its workers rejected the first proposed contract. The company also says it will use a contingency plan to continue operations in the event of a strike. St. Louis officials continue to push a plan to help resettle Afghan refugees in the state. That's according to NBC affiliate KSDK. The plan would move 350 to 1,000 refugees from Albania to St. Louis. Currently, St. Louis has welcomed more than 600 refugees since the fall of Kabul in 2021. Matt.
Look at these temperatures all across the state. Much cooler where we've been seeing the rain. Springfield, Missouri is still at 97. Down in Oklahoma, Tulsa still at 103. That heat hasn't gone far away. When could it return? We'll talk about it coming up.
Welcome back. Officials responded to multiple fires across the state over the weekend, and firefighters were called just after 1 a.m. to a barn fire just off State Highway 215 near the Goodnight Township. That's just east of Pleasant Hope, north of Springfield. The fire also spread to hay bales on the property, but thankfully there were no reports of injuries. Also, a fire near Lebanon burned up to 125 acres on Saturday. One firefighter was treated at the scene for gas inhalation and released. Another another fire consumed a 3-story apartment building in Kansas City this morning. That fire killed 2 people, and the fire department arson unit is investigating that cause. Fire officials say the hot and dry conditions are contributing to the recent spark of fires. And Matt, it sure was a scorcher last week. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Emily, it was a scorcher last week. Temperatures were in the 90s on Tuesday, Wednesday, even on Monday. Then we got to the triple digits, reaching 100 on Thursday, 104 on Friday, 105 on Saturday, 100 degrees on Sunday. So a 4-day stretch of 100-degree temperatures. The last time we had that almost exactly 10 years ago to the date, July 22nd through 25th, 2012 is when we last had that. Of course, all this heat with very little moisture through the month has certainly led to drought conditions across a good chunk of the state. About half of the state currently in a drought right now. So the rainfall chances we're going to be seeing over the next several days is going to be very beneficial. We're nearly 2 inches below average on rainfall for the month of July, almost 4 inches below average for the summer, and about 3.5 inches below average for the year. Now, I don't think the rainfall this week is going to fix that drought situation by any means, but every little bit helps. We need this pattern to hold in order to see improvements. Now, unfortunately, beyond this week, I don't think we're going to be seeing that. In fact, I think we're going to get hot and dry again early on in August. Looking at those rainfall potentials, isolated to scattered activity with us all the way through Thursday, including tonight. And tonight we have the potential for some heavy rain. Clouds and radar showing you a lot of cloud cover over central Missouri. The frontal boundaries pushed farther to the south. We're going to continue to see these showers moving through the region as we go through the next several hours. From Jefferson City down to about the Lake of the Ozarks, a little bit of activity, and areas along and north of Highway 24 getting in on some activity right now. That's going to be an area we critically focus on as we head into the overnight hours, because that's where some heavier rain could be possible. 9 o'clock tonight, very isolated to scattered activity. That becomes much more widespread as we head into Thursday. Heavy rain along and north of I-70 going to be a potential for us. Temperatures there falling into the 60s. The rest of us going to hold in the 70s. Now from 1 a.m. all the way to about 4 a.m., that moderate to heavy rainfall for those areas to the north is going to continue. I think this may be a little more compressed to areas along and north of Highway 24, but overall, the best chances for rain tonight are north of I-70. I think some passing showers are certainly possible to the south. It's just not going to be as much rainfall for us. Then as we head into 8:30 a.m. Thursday, the bulk of the rain's moving off to the east. We're still going to be seeing some scattered showers. Meteorologist Tim Schmidt going to be tracking that for you on KOMU 8 News today. Then by Thursday afternoon, we're still cloudy, temperatures ranging from the low 80s. Those areas that really pick up a lot more of that rainfall going to be cooler tomorrow, near 90 in Columbia. Meanwhile, Jefferson City, pointing to the south, could be in the lower to even the middle 90s, 95 there in Camdenton. A spot shower or 2 possible by Thursday afternoon, but overall that's not going to amount to a whole lot. The National Weather Service has posted a flood watch that's in effect for Sheraton, Randolph, Monroe, Macon, and Audrain County. That's in effect until 9 a.m. on our Tuesday. And again, it's really along that Highway 24 corridor that we're going to be looking for localized flooding tonight. I don't expect significant issues, but those flood-prone areas are where we're going to be watching for that. 68 our temperature for tonight, 90 tomorrow. Morning leftovers. I think we're much drier in the afternoon, but not necessarily completely dry. Temperatures holding in the 80s all the way through the week. In fact, tomorrow looks to be the warmest day of the week. Saturday, we're at 85, Sunday, 85. Then we'll start to see that warmer and drier pattern settling back up as we head into next week with temperatures in the low 90s. Weather IQ question of the day. It's sponsored by Break Time. If a parcel of air is given a push upwards and it falls back to its original position, the air is neutral, unstable, or stable.
Neutral.
It falls back to that original position. It can't rise. Can't see those cumulus clouds build. It's stable.
You say so. Okay, thanks, Matt. Well, this time next year, MU students could be enjoying an outdoor exercise facility Like this. Mizzou Rec Center plans to take out the outdoor swimming pool called Truman's Pond and replace it with equipment like squat racks, tires, and weighted sleds. To prepare for that change, the pool has been drained and will soon be filled in and then covered in AstroTurf. MU says the pool was used by an average of 20 students a day when open, but it could only be open for 6 months out of the year. The new facility will be open year-round.
It won't actually be sheltered in terms of walls, but there will be shadings and coverings. And then we will have some heating and cooling elements. And so we intend for the space to be usable basically 12 months a year. And so the days where it wouldn't be used perhaps is the day that the inclement weather is actually occurring.
Early this year, the Rec Center met with students and staff to get ideas about what to put in the new facility. And starting this week, the Rec will meet again with students to make some final decisions. The Rec hopes to have it open by April 1st of 2023. Coming up, the Daniel Boone Little League All-Stars get off to a flying start as they try to make it to their second straight Little League World Series. Got the highlights for you coming up next.
Now from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Mizzou basketball's matchup with Central Florida in the Orange Bowl Classic is officially set. The Classic confirmed the game will be on December 17th in Sunrise, Florida. In the Classic's other game, Florida State, where Mizzou coach Dennis Gates worked as an assistant coach for 8 years, will take on former Tiger head coach Mike Anderson and St. John's. Well, last summer, Columbia's Daniel Boone All-Stars took third place at the Little League Softball World Series. They are state champions again and began regional play this afternoon. DBLL opening the Central Region Tournament against Clare, Michigan. Como's first batter of the day, Elin Bostic, sends it past the center fielder. And when the relay throw gets away at third, she comes all the way around to score. One of 4 errors for Michigan, 1-0 Como. DBLL kept pouring it on. Fourth inning, it's Bostic again, this time dropping one to center. Scores another run to make it 5-0. 2 hits, 2 RBI, 2 runs scored for Bostic in the game. In the fifth, Como 2 runs away from a run rule win. Jalen Brown provides just that. 2-run score, 10-0 final. They face Central Iowa on Wednesday. Cardinals are off today. We learned Sunday that All-Stars Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt will both miss both games in Toronto this week since they're not vaccinated. Today, Goldie won the NL Player of the Week award for his 3-game tear in Cincinnati. 4 of Goldschmidt's 6 hits were homers. He drove in 7 runs in the series. The Chiefs have their first full squad practice of training camp tomorrow in St. Joe, but rookie receiver Justin Ross will not be there. The Chiefs place Ross on injured reserve after offseason foot surgery. Going on the IR means Ross is out for the entire season. Nick Bolton and other veterans reported to camp today in St. Joe. The former Mizzou linebacker had one of the best rookie seasons in the entire NFL last year. He's ready for even more in 2022.
Yeah, I feel 1,000 times better. Going into this training camp. Again, I got a whole OTAs, second OTAs underneath my belt. Kind of got a scheme kind of settled in. And so I'm excited what we got going forward. I feel very comfortable. Again, I'm just excited to get out there and ready to showcase everything I've been doing.
Good to see Bolt still doing well in KC. That's sports.
Here's a look we're following for KOMU 8 News at 10 o'clock. Health officials have seen a high hesitancy from Black Americans to get the COVID-19 vaccine. We'll tell you how one piece of history could be part of that problem. That story at 10. Matt.
And we are watching rain chances that are going to be moving in, really ramping up overnight for areas north of I-70. We could see some locally heavy rain along and north of Highway 24. We'll start tomorrow in the upper 60s. We'll still get to about 90 in Columbia. It's going to be a little bit cooler and potentially as low as 80 degrees up in Macon. Meanwhile, the Lake of the Ozarks could be in the middle 90s tomorrow. Passing showers and storms with us all the way through Thursday. I think we'll get a little drier heading into the weekend. Still a slight chance of rain again by Sunday.
What a start for Daniel Boone Little League.
How about that? They play again on Wednesday. Hopefully they keep it going and could end up back in the World Series again.
Love it. Okay, thanks Ben, and thank you for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.